Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the political, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not day off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh. Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégun dayari.
Hello there.
Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Ayégun dayari.
Ayégun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Ayégun dayari.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o.
Ayégun dayari.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Máyégún máa wí.
Ayégun dayari.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Please share this broadcast, okay? Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Ayégun dayari.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ayégun dayari.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Ayégun dayari.
If you are watching me from Abule Ado in Lagos, please, we would love to hear from you tonight. By chance.
Ní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Ayégun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Thank you.
Facebook.
Ayégun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
It is going to be an interesting night as usual. And I would love a lot of us to, please, if you can, put emotion aside. I actually want to speak to you, all of us, tonight.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Ayégun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Ayégun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí pa.
Ayégun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Ayégun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Ayégun mami.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Ayégun ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much if you have taken your time to read the caption of this broadcast. Read the description as well. We are dealing with two issues tonight, and both are bordering on immigration in Nigeria, the political part of it, okay, as well as in the United Kingdom. There is also politics behind both. But we will start from Lagos, Nigeria. A lot of us have been seeing the videos of Lagos residents, homeowners who have been made homeless. And the most reactions to it, which I have also noticed, have mostly been like, one, maybe they built their houses on on drainages or something like that, or waterways, or maybe they bought the land that is in dispute, or different excuses that people were given, right? And others are pretty much like not bothered. More or less like, a lot of you who are Igbos in Lagos, you saw it coming. That why are you still there? Why have you not done this and all of that? Again, these are reactions I have sort of monitored and followed on this issue. At the same time, I kind of wanted to know, because to me, seeing all of this, my first reaction was like, oh my, this is insane. Like, what could have really gone wrong that the people in authority could not find a way around it without this multi-billion naira destruction of properties and lives? So this is insane. But of course, you won't completely ignore all I said earlier, the comments, which many believe are conspiracy theories, and people are just like, no. Tonight, I am going to give you clarity on what is going on. Now, what you will do with the information I'm going to give to you tonight is completely up to you. That is why I said we would have to put emotion aside and try to understand what is going on, so that other questions you are asking yourselves, why this may be able to help you to understand what is really at play right now. And Lagos is the incubator for something still bigger, that even those who believe that they are currently not targets, they will not be spared when this whole thing finally matures. So I want to call your attention to it and leave out emotion out of it. Mistakes have been made. I have sort of figured. Now here is the story. If you have been seeing all these beautiful houses being demolished at Abule Ado, the owners of the land, a lot of them have been living in fear of this happening for more than a year, especially during the elections. I mean, the Igbos, who have been part of even Tifnumbu's political circle, there are Igbos right there in Lagos, because they have their investments there. They have their families there. Many of them were born in Lagos. But there is always this easy, and what you can say is like an embedded political ideology that will always make the Igbos a threat. Igbos are not threats to Yorubas. Just for you to understand what I'm about to tell you now, Igbos are not threats to Yorubas, and Yorubas knows. But the Igbos are considered threats to Tifnumbu's political survival, even when they are not, per se. But here is what I have figured. Nigeria, for number one, Nigeria shouldn't have been a country, okay? Like all of us together in that same country without us actually agreeing to do that. Here you get the Igbos that you see in Yoruba land today, the Yorubas that you see in Igbo land today, and vice versa, and all over the place. They will still have been in those places, even when they are not part of Nigeria. And by so doing, the idea of go back to where you come from, go back to in the same country, would have been so easily defined if we have Yoruba nation, Arewa nation, the Kwararafa, the Middle Beltans, the Igbos, the Jaws. I mean, like, let everybody have their country. So those who would have been, I'm just giving an example, a scenario here for you to understand the complexity of this in a bit, okay? If Nigeria wasn't a country, the same way you will see some Europeans telling Africa, they will say foreigners should go back to their countries, go back to where you come from. And when you look at the tongue and the language of the Tifnumbus apologists, the Lagos Abobakus, the Agberos, it is similar to that. The difference is that the Germans will not tell the Germanese who are Southern German, be the Eastern Germanese. They will not tell the Eastern Germans to go back to the Eastern Germany, go back to where you come from, go back to, you know what I mean? They won't say that in Germany. But Germans, because they are all Germans, Germans will tell foreigners who are not Germans, go back to where you come from. But it is kind of unheard of, for you to have a section in a single country, Nigeria, where a section will say, go back to where you are coming from. Okay, now let's come back to the ideology behind people with this kind of a political power. In Eastern Europe and some part of, in fact, it's not even just Europe now, all over the world. If you have been following the news, you would have been hearing about far-right political group. This political group is far-right. Far-right defined as the politics of segregation. They said the segregation of groups deemed to be superior from groups deemed to be inferior. Also commonly include authoritarianism, nepotism, racism, and xenophobia. If you are a Yoruba man or woman watching me right now, you see this video is also for you. In fact, it is mainly for us, because there is something that we have not cleared. Most of us will easily say, we don't believe in Tifnumbu's ideology. And in fact, you are ready to call him out for it. We make it Tifnumbu's ideology, Tifnumbu's this or that. But there is something we haven't really agreed. That except for Lagos, where their pseudo-socialist, left-wing ideologies, which are actually like fake, it is only in Lagos that they have been able to form a government that has been sustained on tribal, ethnic superiority. And the rest of Yoruba land, there are people who admires the Tifnumbu's ideology, the ideology of segregation, Xenophobia. You see, this xenophobia you are hearing in South Africa, that's exactly what is happening in Lagos. If you don't follow what we say, if you go against what the leader says, then you are an enemy, you are a foreigner, even if you are from the same country. This idea, the idea of the Igbos as the targeted ethnic group right now, okay, in Lagos, there are other parts of Yoruba land that you will still see handful numbers of Yorubas, who also believes that the Igbos are problems. They are foreigners in Yoruba land, even though it is Nigeria. They are foreigners. They deserved to either be killed, their properties destroyed, their businesses destroyed, and get them sent back to Anambra. There are handful numbers of Yorubas who also believe this. They are not from Lagos. They are not, some of them have never even been to Lagos. But you see the political ideology of Tifnumbu that has sustained power in Lagos has not been able to gain power elsewhere in Yoruba land. So the far-right ideology, when you type it in Google and read about it, I'll read something to you quickly. They said, what are the, is an example of far-right politics? Far-right politics, as it is, you have on your screen, right? However, they said, what is far-right politics? Far-right politics, or right-wing extremism, or hard-right, refers to a spectrum of political thought that tends to be radically conservative, ultra-nationalist, and authoritarian. Often also include navitism or navist tendencies. Now, make I explain that to you. As Yorubas, for you to understand the style of the political ideologies of Tifnumbu and how dangerous it is, not just for the Igbos who are currently tagged as part of Nigeria, okay, but even to Yorubas. When you go to some part of European countries, they will tell you that foreigners are contaminating their citizens. And the word contamination is not of anything other than they are marrying our citizens. Our citizens are giving birth to cross-raised children who are not going to be 100% loyal to our country because maybe their father or their mother came from other places. So in these far-right countries, the rights of all these citizens with this mixed birth, they are now being put down gradually and gradually, because according to them, they believe that all of the children of immigrants are those who are going to eventually take over the tradition, the custom of the place and impose their own on it. And if you pay attention very well, in their 2023 charade, when they were shouting the Igbos should leave, Igbos should leave, in case if you have forgotten, I can play you one, a quick one, just so you know.
So long that we are not even challenging. To say that I'm not hungry is just, I'm just kidding myself. I've not been able to sleep. I've not been able to do anything. I've been awake all morning and I'm still going to work today. This is totally uncalled for. And we really need to check this. If APC wants to still remain in power in Lagos State, they need to check and clip the wings of these Igbos, the Easterners coming into our land and taking everything.
Do you get that? The Igbos are coming into our land. If APC want to remain in power, the Igbos are coming to our land to take everything. You see, the person who said that, she is not living in Nigeria. she lives in Canada with her family. That was the tension, the tension the Asharid election generated. And look at that statement. You must have heard that many times. Even you, who is a Yoruba man or woman, you've heard that many times. The Igbos come to our land and take over everything. Meanwhile, the same, the same Igbos, like others, who also, as part of Nigeria, who also migrated to Lagos, legitimately doing their businesses and even paying taxes, buying properties and building houses, marrying the people they came across and started families. Now, you see, the idea of APC, Egbekegbe, was that it has come to that too. If your mama is Igbo and your papa is Yoruba, the ideology is that you are not a full-blooded Yoruba, and therefore you have no rights in Yoruba land. And when we say rights, right to leadership of Yoruba land, I mean, because the Igbos are coming to take over everything. Just the same language you have been hearing on different political campaign podiums all over the world. All of you who live in the diaspora, you have seen. In fact, some of you can attest that there are many political parties like this who have not been able to gain power in your different countries. And their campaign slogan is that you have been allowed to come to that country by the politicians who don't care for the locals. You are coming in to take the job. This is even different too. It's not that Lagos state government created these massive jobs and the Igbos have taken it all over. No. Not that the Yorubas opened different businesses and they refused to employ the Yorubas. They have been employing the Igbos. No. The fear that they have managed to sustain have nothing to do with the people other than themselves and the fear of losing that power. So a lot of you will know one thing, and I want you to kind of take this to heart. Whatever anyone says about the Yorubas, I'm still coming to you, the Igbos too. I'm coming to you. Whatever anybody says about the Yorubas, because of the actions of this minute few and their political ideology, you can take this to the bank. Even though we continue to tell you that they don't represent the Yorubas, but as Yoruba, we are going to admit that the idea of those who are in power in Lagos, that is promoting xenophobia, promoting segregation and ethnic profiling, go back to where you come from. Stop building houses. Stop buying lands here and building houses legally. Stop setting up your businesses here. You are a threat to us. You know what I mean? On one hand, they said the Igbos must obey what they tell them. And everyone is asking, what exactly are you telling the Igbos in Lagos? They must obey Ashiwaju and Ashiwaju, they must accept. But they are not in any way contending with that, Abi. But here is that danger. We have intermarried right before our very eyes. People who have intermarriages in their families. Some were even saying, if war starts today, there was this mad guy, because of this election too, he said that he's married to an Igbo woman. Okay? And if war starts today, she will be the first person he will kill before going out to kill any other Igbo he sees. All of these are the ideology that is so dangerous that APC, Egbekegbe, promoted. And as much as people will say, election is over, they should move on, what they said after 2023 was that what happened in 2023, it will never happen again. There was a time they said Odimegu Ojukwu was invited to one housewarming in Lagos. You know, the Igbos, like other typical Nigerians, they are very loud. When they are successful, they want to celebrate it in a big way. So they brought Ojukwu to Lagos to come and see this brand new estate and mansions that successful Igbo businessmen have managed to build in Lagos. And Ojukwu was put on the high table. And all of them, the Igbo multimillionaires, billionaires among them, they were filing out, you know, and as they were calling them and all of that. So it was time for Ojukwu to speak. They gave him the microphone and Ojukwu was like, this looks so great that you've come down to this place and you've been very successful in your different choosing fields. But this is going to be your biggest mistake, if not going to be the biggest mistakes of your lives. That you are so successful in this place, but you are so weak and weak-minded to take back your game back to your own homeland. And he said, you are in a place that we just came out of a war, and Nigeria hasn't healed from that, but you are putting all your eggs in one single basket. That's what he told them. He said, one illiterate or one bigot can wake up tomorrow with a stroke of pen, and pull down all these houses, pull everything down without blinking. The response of these Igbo billionaires was just to be like, you know what, they were going to go back and build even bigger mansions that they are likely never going to live in, or probably would never live in. Some of them went back and they started building bigger mansions and they left them there and all of that, but they continue the tradition of Lagos. And every time the rulers of Lagos, the political rogues in Lagos, want to throw tantrums for any reason at all, they are always those who take the other end of the big stick. And they still get blamed for it. Go back to where you come from. Go back to Anambra. In the same country, I have spoken on this before, and I said, as much as it saddens, right, that those who have the power to really continue to build, genuinely build on the, the cosmopolitan nature of what Lagos has been known for over 100 years. But for politics, some people who are there, they are friends, royal fathers who are Igbos, who are like Easterners and the rest of them. I kind of remember that few of them rose at the time to say, listen, do not let the innocent people suffer for whatever you are going to do as the outcome of the 2023 elections, okay? Badebo, whose father gave them the current city hall, the land where they built the current city hall in Lagos. Gbadebo, who's grandparents, gave the land to the administration of Lagos State, even before they gave birth to Tifnumbu, or maybe Ragbuju, whoever even surfaced anywhere. The same Gbadebo was sort of, was presented as Igbo. And you all remember how that went, Abi. They are not done with that right now. Here you get. So majority of you who also have your own children, who are of also mixed blood, the damages that election actually did. This is the physical one you are seeing. I'm going to show you a few. The marriages, the relationship, the business, the relationship that election actually ruined and destroyed. It was the first of its kind. But we probably thought they were going to really move on. But they are not moving on. They are going to demolish all your houses. If you are Igbo in Lagos and you happen to be, for any reason, you have no certificate of occupancy of your land by now, they said Sanwo-Iku hasn't signed some certificate of occupancy for a reason. And this is time to pull out the card. You understand? So the people who are taking back what you call the pound of flesh in order to prevent any future, what they believe as a future threat to their political survival. They don't give a damn about the lives that will be lost or that are already lost. They don't give a damn about the fortune that are going to be ruined or that are already destroyed. They don't give a damn. If it is going to send a message straight up, what would you say is the sin of the Igbos? That Gbadebo has an Igbo mom and suddenly became a contender for the seat of governor of Lagos? And you think that is the only thing? Let me give you another example. I have told you that of Jimmy Agbaje. It was the same template, but they didn't really go this far at the time. They called him Chinyere. They called him Jimmy Shuku. Again, one of them, which happened to be their former star boy, Pastor Ruga, declared interest to run for president. And these guys printed posters. They pasted posters of him all over Abuja. They pasted this poster of a sitting vice president because he also bought a form to run for president. They pasted all of this everywhere. And this happened to be somebody that you will say was one of them. They will go to anywhere. It is their politics. It is the politics of, segregation, xenophobia, authority, godfatherism, and the rest. They don't represent Yoruba people, of course. But do they exist in Yoruba land? They do. If they have a chance of imposing, if somebody with such mindset as well, it's just that the rest are just there to make money. I'm talking about others who are like in other part of Yoruba land. They're just there to make money. But if they happen to be genuine ones from Tifnumbu's school of thought, all they need to do is to just pick on any tribe or any ethnic nationality and use the instrumentality of the law to go after them. It is the ideology. Here you get. And the people behind this are those who identify with Tifnumbu this way. But in Yoruba land, even we Yorubas, we are not really safe in their hands. Going against them, automatically even make us more of a bigger threat than what the Igbos will be. I don't know if that makes any sense to you yet. No? Don't worry. After the election, they wanted to destroy the Igbos. They actually vowed it. But these are going to be the innocent businessmen and women, you know, resident homeowner and the rest of them. In any part of a place that you decided to put up a structure, start building a house, part of what you would do is to, mostly you meet the landowners, buy from them, run into trouble because there could be probably 2-3 owners, or that will come back and say this and that with different court cases. And then they will give you the chance of, okay, now let's renegotiate. How much did you pay for this then? We can't ask you to demolish your house now or take your house away, but you are going to buy the land and the rest. So when it comes to the issue of land in Lagos, and mostly in almost every other part of southern Nigeria too, but especially in Lagos, land grabbers, land fraudsters, and the rest of them, they are kings. They are even like leaders in APC. So you see, citizens themselves are not really protected by the government that should keep them protected. So you are on your own. Until the time you manage to get the certificate of occupancy, which is the CFO. There was no fight or what have you on this particular, this particular part of Lagos. But they just had to go. They've told them since last year that after the election, all of you will have to go. So initially they told them, there are some people, they build their houses too close to the road. So they were going to demolish those houses. That was the first violation they pointed out. Then, suddenly, their, their tractor, they started leaving the main road and they started entering the whole estates, entering the old street and the street everywhere. They started entering everywhere and they started giving them 2 hours. You have 2 hours, 2 hours. We are demolishing this whole place. This is not a street. And the population of those who became the victims, they are Igbos. You don't need an interpreter to understand that, but I'll share this with you. Check this out.
Landlord, one of the victims of the ongoing demolition here in Abulado. This is my property. It has been demolished. And there was no notice before encroaching on my property, destroying it. Even if I didn't have the FHA allocation, if they ask me to pay for the reclaiming of the land, I'm ready to pay. And they destroyed my property over 300 million. Yeah. My kids are homeless now. I don't know what to do next. And I still have some neighbors that are in hospital now. Some are having stroke now. Things are happening. So we are appealing for the government to help us to stop the demolition going on at Ablado. Kids are at the hospital. Please, I'm begging. I'm calling on the presidency to do something about this. Look at people's properties. Look at. Even if they say that some houses are built on the road, they are done demolishing those houses. Why entering into the street where people are living, making children homeless? Children are homeless now. They can't even go to school. About 4 people are dead because of this, out of heart attack, out of tension. People are dead. We have lost lives because of this. Just look at My wife is in hospital because he cannot bear it. She can't bear it. She has been hospitalized. As I am now, I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm very, very confused. I'm very, very confused. I'm homeless like this. There is ongoing committee. They've been making calls. They've been making calls. We are on the calls now. No response yet. But we are praying to have response because there are still ongoing demolition as we speak right here now. Illegal work.
700, in fact, sorry, it was 970 houses that they would demolish. It's like demolishing a whole town. I mean, there is nobody within the government that will say, hey, don't let us use propaganda to put these people into misery. All right? Number one, they did not build on water channel. They did not build on on wrong lands. No, they didn't. Okay? And if there are actually issues with their land document, let's even use that. Okay, let's say they have other documents, but they don't have the CFO because it's only the governor that will sign your certificate of occupancy. Here you get. And from what we heard, there are already tens of thousands of applications that are pending. And in fact, because of all these recent demolitions that they are carrying out without human face, a lot of people believe that the government of Lagos State, the governor of Lagos State intentionally did not sign the certificate of occupancies of so many Igbos because they have been the targets, or should we say, they have been those who have been at the receiving end, most of it. It is not because they have done anything illegally. There is no court judgment that says they have to demolish their houses or what have you. None. But to them, they just believe that even if there is any land dispute of any kind, they are willing to pay rather than lose all of this that they have put up. That there is nobody within the government agency, within the government circle, to actually sit down and put valuation on the destruction they are about to do. What do you think they want to do with the land after demolishing all the houses? Sell it to the Lebanese or the Chinese or what? It's not a public land from what all I have gathered, but I have been told that majority of them, they do not have certificate of occupancy, the CFO, even though, and I'm like, why would you put up so much investment in lands that you don't have the CFO? Others are saying, even with your CFO, how long do you think it takes to cancel CFO, Mayegun? Even those with the CFO, are they not demolishing their houses too? Are they being compensated? I was like, well, I mean, that could at least give you some legal stand where you can, take a legal action for illegal demolition and take compensation for your houses, for your house that they demolished and your land they forcefully want to take from you. You could get compensated. And I continued to get more questions from this person I was talking to. It was like, okay, so if the court, so this guy is obey court order, are you not the one who always talk about them not obeying court order? Do we not know that? So they will demolish your house and all of that, and then you go to court. So the court will now tell them to go and pay you 1 billion, and they will pay you the money. I was like, I don't know. But are there no people with human face to sit and say, listen, what can we make of this? The Igbos, they will put down tens and hundreds of millions of naira to buy swamps. They will buy swamp, invest another billions in trying to concretize the surface. They will then build their houses on it. After 5 years, 10 years, the government will bring the bulldozer and they will say, you have built on the waterways. And then you would expect that, okay, maybe they want to do a project of waterway project to ease out any flooding or anything. No, they will sell the land to other people. So the Igbos will go to abandon their land or part of the state, invest tens and tens of billions of naira, develop it into a commercial hub and everything, increase the rate of property rate in the area. In 10 years, then somebody will come and they will say, these Igbos always want to take over everywhere. Go back to Anambra.